funky music. Funky, funky. Right. Funky, funky. Right. So I reset everything, and because the last one, there were people here that were chatting and it didn't show up and stuff. So I'm keeping an eye on it. Make sure that it doesn't happen again, or they at least see it. But I'm hoping that reinstating permissions helps. Hi, Ingrid. So it did kind of help a little bit. So doing everything that I can. But we're going to talk about the spiritual experience. That was refreshing. We're going to talk about the spiritual experience in the big book. I believe it's on 562. I'm probably wrong. I believe that's actually the 12 traditions. Yep. All right. The spiritual experience is on 567. Let's go ahead and do introductions and get going. Welcome to us in Daily Trudge. I don't know why I always go for German. Probably because it's the easiest one for me to do. If you're here, please say hello. When you're watching the live or the rewatch. That's like a mixture of bullshit. That's not even a real accent. That was just crap, is what that was. So, all right. You must be watching from the Daily Trudge. Yep, okay. Seems to be where it's happening. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check back into, because here's the thing. Some people don't want to do Facebook. Some people don't want to do YouTube, blah, 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 blah. But what they can trust is my website. So I'm going to take a look. The last time I checked, it cost me an extra $80 a month to do that. But maybe it's changed. Maybe something else has come out. So I'm going to see what I can do to take a look at where what I'll do is I will go live from my website only. Now, maybe the other places too. But that'll give you a notification on mine, blah, blah, blah. And hopefully that'll work because, yeah. Okay. Spiritual experience. The terms spiritual experience. Did I? Yes, I did. Because the terms spiritual experience and spiritual awakening are used many times in this book, which upon careful reading shows that the personality change sufficient to bring about recovery from alcoholism has manifested itself among us in many different forms. Only a little bit. Only a little bit. So, and I don't know how to say that in German. She's asking if I could speak German. That's all I know. I know comme ci, comme ça. I know Scheisskopf. Scheisskopf, that means shithead. Yeah. Okay, anyway. So, sufficient to bring about recovery from alcoholism has manifested itself among us in many different forms. And what they're talking about is our bottoms. Okay. I don't do rock bottom. No. In my experience, there is no rock bottom. There was just one trap door after another. It wasn't until I decided that I had had enough. And then that was my bottom. Now, I don't go for rock bottom because that makes it feel like you always need to go further. And you do not. It is not a requirement. Okay? I don't care how old you are. Every person has lost the one requirement: ourselves. We lost ourselves. That's the price that you paid for your admission into Alcoholics Anonymous. Yeah. So that's why I say when you get here, you've already paid the price. You've already paid your dues. That's why there's nothing left to pay. Now it's about healing. It's about being a better person. So because now we all get there in different ways, right? We all have different needs. So therefore, spirituality is not a fixed ideal. Okay? It's not a fixed ideal. It's whatever you feel. Okay? In this case, your feelings are extremely valid. Yet it is true that our first printing gave many readers the impression that these personality changes or religious experience must be in the nature of sudden and spectacular upheavals. Happily for everyone, this conclusion is erroneous. Means it doesn't matter. Okay. Now, Bill W. had a sudden and effective spiritual experience, which if that did not happen, AA would not be around. See, God did all of this on purpose. Okay? And it started before Bill. It started thousands of years before Bill. Yeah. I mean, who was before Bill? Ebby. If it wasn't for Ebby and Bill being friends and Ebby deciding to do a 12-step call on Bill, we would not be here. If those two men from the Oxford group had not gone to court to get Ebby out, we would not be here. If the people that did not help those two men get to where they were didn't help them, we wouldn't be here. Do you see it? Do you see it now? See how it all leads to you. And now it's your turn. Okay? We're all Bill. We're all Bob. We're all Lois. We're all one, man. Okay? We are spiritual beings. I am a spiritual being living in a human world. In our first few chapters, a number of sudden revolutionary changes are described. Though it was not our intention to create such an impression, many alcoholics have nevertheless concluded that in order to recover, they must acquire an immediate and overwhelming God consciousness, followed at once by vast changes in feeling and outlook. Okay. Now, what is it really? Just whining alcoholics, but we got to explain it. Hey, knowledge is power. Once you have recovered, knowledge is power again. Yeah. And then you just pass that knowledge on. It's not true power. It's not control power. That's no. Power doesn't have anything to do with control. That's control. Among our rapidly growing membership of thousands of alcoholics, such transformations, though frequent, are by no means the rule. Most of our experience is what the psychologist William James calls the educational variety, because they develop slowly over a period of time. That's been my experience. This has happened slowly for me, and I am perfectly fine with that. Now, there have been times when I've had sudden, I call it the 2x4 effect, where I just change suddenly in a matter of hours, a day or two. It can be very uncomfortable, but it has happened to me a few times. Okay. But for the most part, I'm a reactive person. If God gave me a burning bush, I'd probably throw water on it. Right? So we're all different. We need things differently. Quite often, friends of the newcomer are aware of the difference long before he is himself. He finally realized that he has undergone a profound alteration in his reaction to life that such a change could hardly have been brought about by himself alone. What often takes place in a few months could seldom have been accomplished by years of self-discipline. Okay? AA in itself is what is called a catalyst. It will take your intentions and it will speed it up. According to therapists and psychologists and doctors, we don't recover in a few short months. They say that takes years. So when this rapid growth happens, then there's nothing else that we can call it but a miracle, because it wasn't science. Science did not pull that one off. Okay? And I love science. You bet. I love science. It's a lot of fun. Okay? With few exceptions, our members find that they have tapped an unsuspected inner resource which they presently identify with their own conception of a power greater than themselves. So what did it say? It said it was in you the whole time. That the unsuspecting inner resource. It was with you the whole time. You ever read the poem Footprints in the Sand? It's kind of what they're talking about. You know, the poem talks about two footprints in the sand, but then there are times when there's only one set of footprints in the sand, and he's asking God, why did you leave me alone during those times? Those were the times when I needed you the most. And God said, I was carrying you, my child. It wasn't our set of footprints in the sand. It was God's. Okay? Yeah. You were never left alone. Your higher power has a job for you to do. Okay? Most of us think this awareness of a power greater than ourselves is the essence of a spiritual experience. Our more religious members call it God consciousness. I am not religious in any sense, but I do have a God consciousness. Yeah. Most emphatically, we wish to say that any alcoholic capable of honestly facing his problems in the light of our experience can recover, provided he does not close his mind to all spiritual concepts. He can only be defeated by an attitude of intolerance or belligerent denial. That's us. They're just describing my alcoholism there. Well, I was very intolerant of others, of religion, of other thoughts, new concepts. I was very closed-minded because I wanted what I wanted and I wanted it my way. Wah, 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 wah. You know, now, it's funny. It's not funny, but I get what I want now. But what I want is different. I don't want alcohol. I don't want to be left alone. I don't want to isolate. That's not what I want anymore. I want fellowship. I want to live. I want to have as much fun on this adventure as I can now. Yeah. It's weird. Because I was at 40 milligrams on my duloxetine. Ingrid will get this. That's what I'm saying it here. I was at 120 milligrams. I'm very proud of myself. I was at 120 milligrams of motherfuckers. And I have been weaning myself off for a year. Okay, so I was down to 40, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I couldn't get the 10s, so I'm going down. And what happened is all of a sudden I'm more awake. I'm more awake. So, yeah, it's kind of nice. I feel like I'm waking up. So, I've done 2 days of going down to 20 milligrams. I'm going to do that for a week or so, and then I'm going to go off of them. I'll be done. Thank you, Ingrid. Thank you. You know how hard that shit is. It's an SSDI, man. I wasn't thinking clearly. And but I learned my lesson. So thank you, Ingrid. I'm glad I could share that with somebody who really understands how hard that is. So thank you. All right. We find that no one need have difficulty with the spirituality of the program. Willingness, honesty, open-mindedness are the essentials of recovery, but these are indispensable. And it's italicized. Anytime something is italicized in this, it means it's very important. Okay? That's what they're saying. Willingness, honesty, open-mindedness, they're essentials of recovery. And they're indispensable. Why? Because they require no action. I can sit right here, do nothing, and be open-minded. What does that do? It allows me to put my own bullshit aside so I can be there for other people. That's what it's all about. Being able, that is what we call us being esteemable. That's integrity. You know what? I got problems. I can put them aside for a few minutes, hold space for this person. Yes, I can. You know what? One of the joys that I really get, that when my grandchildren are around me, they feel protected. That's a big deal to me. Oh, I got Father's Day present yesterday for me. Because it says happy birthday. They said they did that because they wanted to mess with me. So, it's my first Father's Day present from any of my grandchildren. So progress, man. Progress. And that stays at my desk. All right. There is a principle which is a bar against all information. Okay. When it comes to this, quit worrying about other people. Because when I read this, I always think of other people, and I've got to think of myself. Okay? Which is a bar against all information, which is proof against all arguments, and which cannot fail to keep a man in everlasting ignorance. That principle is contempt prior to investigation. Herbert Spencer. Okay? What does that mean? It means ask questions. You know, my granddaughter is so full of questions. She wants to know the color. She wants to know how much my house costs. I mean, but these are always valid questions. She's just figuring out life, right? So when we come into the program, let's remember, because I know that one of my biggest things is I tend to forget that people aren't me. Now, that doesn't mean I'm better than, less than, or anything. It just means that sometimes I come from a different purview, or I may say something that's a little different. You know, so all right. Well, thank you everybody for being here. I'm glad to know that, you know, at least at least some of it's working. Maybe I should just make it on the Daily Trudge. Here's the thing. I could switch over and just go live on Facebook, but the problem is then I don't keep ownership of my stuff, and it's mine. It's the only thing that's mine. Hi, Michelle. I was just wrapping up. Let's do this. Let's do the daily reflections real quick. So that way Michelle gets something out of this too. If I can find it. Here it is. Oh, I already did today's, didn't I? No, I did not. All right, let's do that. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you. All right. Making AA your higher power. Great. And this goes right along with the spiritual experience. See? Thank you, God. He always does that. He will make topics. See, AA is just one big, like, million piece puzzle where every piece fits. It just fits. That's AA. Because everything fits there. So, all right. You can make AA itself your higher power. Here's a very large group of people who have solved their alcohol problem. Many members have crossed the threshold just this way. Their faith broadened and deepened, transformed, they came to believe in a higher power. So what you can do is you can utilize the AA group of drunks, God, we like our TLAs. It's a 3-letter acronym. If you don't like the word God, then just say group of drunks. Okay. I only use the word God so people don't misunderstand me, but I do not believe in a Christian God but it's a great place to start, man. And a tasty way to do it. Old commercial. Okay. But it's a great place to start because you can see that the program's working in their life. Right? And all we're looking for is just okay. But it doesn't take much. Imagine this. Your child asks you for help. There you go. That's God. Asking for help. Can you help me with this? Hey, Grandpa, can you open this for me? Actually, they don't need that. They're so fucking so. We have there's this sliding glass door that's hard and hell to open and shut. Those two, oh my God, it's strong. I'm not going to wrestle with it. Okay. No one was greater than I, at least in my eyes, when I was drinking. I never got a big head. I'm thinking on this. I was a depressive drunk. I was the kind of drunk that beat up on myself a lot. But yeah, there were heady situations. Sure, there were where I thought I was the shit. Okay. Yeah, where I used to do like sales meetings and stuff like that back in the house. Okay. Yeah, I did. Nevertheless, I couldn't smile at myself in the mirror. So I came to AA, where with others, I heard talk of a higher power. That's the biggest thing. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror, and now I can. Now I'm like, so all my flaws. I'm not. It isn't my face. It's the guilt and the shame. See, these eyes are the gateway to my soul, and when I look at myself, I'm staring at my own soul. And if I'm uncomfortable with that, I need to change. Because that means that I don't love myself. And if I can't love myself, then I can't love other people. And I love loving other people. So you got to give that gift to yourself first. Okay. I believed God was cruel and unloving. It sucks that some people were raised and taught that. I wasn't taught that. Well, I was raised Mormon, but I just didn't listen. I didn't listen to anything. I couldn't tell you anything out of the Book of Mormon. So I didn't pay attention intentionally. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to be a part of anything that hated me. Okay. And no, that's pretty strong. Okay. I didn't want to be a part of anything that was going to damn me. My higher power does not test my sobriety. They do not mess around with me. No, there is no testing. My faith is not tested. No. I have my own free will. God wants me to have my own free will, and then he wants me to take that free will to spread his will. Willingly. All right. In desperation, I chose a table, a tree, and then my AA group as my higher power. time passed, my life improved, and I began to wonder about this higher power. Gradually, with patience, humility, and a lot of questions. A lot of questions. Okay. If you are in an area or in a group where you don't feel comfortable asking questions, please reach out to me. I would be more than happy. Okay. In my life, there are no stupid questions, just silly answers. Okay. I ask questions all the time because I don't know. And I need to know so that I can help other people. I came to believe in God. Now my relationship with my higher power gives me the strength to live a happy, sober life. All right. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm going to head to my 3 p.m. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Michelle, it was good to see you. Ingrid, as always. I love you all. Peace out and have a day.